Have you seen 2005's Stealth? If so, you've already seen this movie. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and of course, ridiculousness. And we're jumping back over to the streaming platform of Netflix with a brand new sci-fi fantasy movie coming out this Friday called Outside the Wire. In the near future, a drone pilot sent into a war zone finds himself paired up with a top-secret android officer on a mission to stop a nuclear attack. So is this brand new sci-fi movie pack all of that science fiction fantasy lore that you're looking for? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Are you looking forward to it? Not looking forward to it? Want a good sci-fi movie? Now let's get into some of the good. So right off the bat, I think the beginning of this movie, the first 30 minutes, instantly drew me in because it's again, sci-fi, futuristic. There's these soldiers in a war-torn world. Essentially the whole world is kind of on edge. But then there's also these giant robot cyborg type things that they're fighting alongside with, and it just, that science fiction itch of me, or that side of me, really drew me in because I was like, oh, this is a cool world, it's these things fighting and these other people, and they're fighting over territory and whatnot. So the instant kind of lore and world setup and the grunts and the opening kind of text that really set everything up drew me on board. And also the performances from Anthony Mackie was fine, but I think Damson Idris, I believe it was, I really enjoyed his performance throughout this. He is sort of the main character. He actually has more screen time than Anthony Mackie's character, and I thought that he really brought emotion to his character in certain situations, determination, decided against orders, and was like, I have better judgment than you. So he is very much kind of a conflicted character at times, and I thought that he was a nice vessel, essentially, to take us throughout this film. And that combined with kind of the storyline of his character, having this, safe situation, then being demoted down to kind of the trenches, the front line, also brings in, again, that interesting dynamic to the character of someone that's maybe a little sheltered, a little shy, someone who maybe talks a little bit more game than he actually has, and you can see how that really affects the character and kind of how he grows throughout this movie. However, man, this Outside the Wire just felt not gimmicky, generic. Something you've seen before. You've seen this plot several times, or pieces of the plot, and you know what? I'm not going to ding it for that. But it's the problem with everything that is fleshed out in this movie. None of it is really interesting. The plot, what the characters are going through, their motivations, what they're supposed to be doing, the mission of these characters, none of it really grabs you. Like I said at the beginning, the intro with the robots and the sci-fi nature of everything is what drew me in. But as the story continues, the story just completely deteriorates and is kind of turned into this convoluted mess of characters, motivations. Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? Do you have a different agenda than what the military is really sending us out to do? So I think that the thing is, once you hit about 30 minutes to about an hour into this movie, that's when things unfortunately start falling apart. And it's kind of like, what am I supposed to grasp onto? What emotional pull? What am I supposed to be invested in this movie? Is it the characters? Is it the status of the United States? Is it these military people? Is it our main character of Idris? I don't know. And even leading up to what is supposed to be some sort of an emotional finish with our couple kind of main characters, it completely falls flat. It lacked. It didn't, again, grab me. It was 2 hours of these characters, and you're supposed to somewhat get invested, but it just didn't feel like it was there because of certain aspects with Anthony Mackie's character. It's kind of weird because you don't know where his, like I said, agenda, his motivations, his purpose really is in this film, so it's kind of tough to get on board with exactly what he is saying. And once it leads down to the very end of the film, it's kind of like, what's the point really anymore? And rounding out the kind of negatives or cons for myself is the CGI. Now, I mentioned that the robots in this movie looked really cool, and about 75% of the time, they do look badass. They are flowing, they are moving, they are shooting, they're doing combat the way I want them to. But there's a few scenes where they're moving a little bit quickly, jumping out of a truck, or even just firing their gun at other soldiers, that the way, the movement, the CGI, the lighting, honestly, just little aspects of all of those things really ruined that kind of uncanny valley for me, where I'm like, that's clearly a cartoon next to that guy. What is going on here? But not only did I have a nitpick with that CGI problem, the way that they structured action and set pieces, and honestly, you know, the spectacle of this film was unique. It worked, but a lot of the time it was very jump cutty. It was like, hey, we take these 5 frames, we speed them up a bit so it looks like our characters are moving quicker, they're stronger, they're jumping from here to there to there to ripping these people apart. It's a unique style of editing when it comes to the action. I will say that. Personally, for myself, I didn't like it because it felt jarring. It felt like boom, 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 rather than a fluid motion. Again, not really too many jump cutty type things, but when they do the jump cutty with the sped up frames, it really takes you out of the movie. Overall, Outside the Wire is this sci-fi fantasy from Netflix that you might have seen bits and pieces here or there in other films. With it having, again, a cool world setup, our performances really kind of hitting, and some cool robot designs, but a lot of the things from the motivations, the structure, the story, the CGI, the fight choreography, a lot of it just takes you out of the movie, and by the end of it, you're kind of like, why do I care about what is happening here? In closing, I'm going to give Outside the Wire 2.5 out of 5 robot soldiers. So what did you all think of Outside the Wire? Have you seen it, not seen it? Like a good sci-fi, but a little cautiously optimistic right now? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways, though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there, or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. I have a few more reviews coming this week, and then Friday, WandaVision, some fun stuff on this weekend, so stay tuned for all of that. Be sure to follow all of my social media, especially TikTok. I'm doing some fun stuff over there. Like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel, and until next time, we'll see you later.